The next item is e-learning day.
So I wanted to briefly touch on this and have a brief discussion with the board. At the February 26th Committee of the Whole meeting, Kristen Smetana, our principal, Kylie Lundquist, our assistant principal, and Dave Mannon, our other assistant principal, I believe, are going to be here, correct, for other reports?
Correct.
And at that time, I'm going to ask them to provide a building-level executive summary to the board, summarizing the two e-learning days, the activities, the expectations, the data that was collected, as well as some of the feedback we received from both parents and from staff. We had a lunch and learn on Friday for the staff to come back and report out. We also had some data that we were continuing to collect from the administrators reviewing all the lessons in the assignments submitted by the students. So from an airplane view, from the superintendent's perspective, I thought the administration, the union leadership, and just the staff in its entirety did a really nice job pulling together. I think it was around 10:30 on Saturday night. I was watching the weather and the forecast for Monday, and then the forecast for Wednesday and Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
And I sent a message to the assistant principals, Kristen, and even Doug Schultz and Dan Monahan, who are the union leaders, and just said, hey, we're going to need everybody to be pulling together because there's a good chance we may need to do an e-learning day, looking at closing Wednesday and Thursday. And so we held tight and did a late start on Monday, and I thought that worked really well. And, the e-learning days, I think having two in a row, the second day may have had a dip in overall effectiveness. But I thought the first day was really effective since we were all on checking assignments, et cetera. We had a 96.7 or 4 ADA for the first day and a 92.6 on the second day. So those are almost very similar to a traditional day of school. So Kristen will provide a detailed report with how we covered both 10-month employees, 12-month employees, teachers, what the expectations were for students, staff, etc. At that e-learning summary report on February 26th.
Can I ask, have you been monitoring? Isn't there a bill in the House to rescind it and to go
Yes.
back to the 5-hour instructional day?
So
Do you know anything?
the Superintendent's Association last week when we had our report, there's already been an amendment attached to that bill. And the exceptions, one of the 5 exceptions were for like dual credit, dual enrollment, internships, blended learning, and e-learning. I don't know if the specifics of the e-learning were for only on inclement weather days or if there's more flexibility, but they already recognized, because several schools have already exhausted their 5 emergency days. A lot of the DuPage schools closed the entire. Whenever one school in DuPage does a universal closing, so they do a conference call between the entire county, and if one closes, they all close for weather, unless it's something specific like a broken pipe or something like that. So the public schools, so they all closed last Monday. So they had 3 days where they were closed, just last week or 2 weeks ago. And then they had the one in November, and then there may have been one other day in there.
Before that week, they come in on that cold Thursday.
Wednesday, Thursday, and Monday for 3. Then they had the November 26th, and then I thought they had one other day somewhere. Or they're already at 4. Some of the other schools in Plainfield and some of those places couldn't get their buses going, so they closed the Friday as well.
Okay.
So they're already using what they call active God days if they have to close anymore, which is where they now need the state superintendent to approve not making up that day.
Wow.
So I think that bill will have some amendment and some additional language, and we'll see how it goes from there.
And do we, as a follow-up to Gina, Laura,
Are you getting anything, because you're still our representative for IASB, right?
Mm-hmm.
And are they supporting some kind of exception for like emergency on that,
I haven't seen anything. We got a West Cook meeting coming up soon. I bet you
It'll be discussed.
that
okay.
might be discussed during that.
okay.
I got positive feedback from a couple of the parents that I talked to. They were very happy with the fact that their children were working on that day, right? So,
Yeah, the PTO expressed the same thing when I met with them last week and asked them some questions about modifications too for the future that we are considering.
Good. So, but you will give us a more thorough
Yeah.
report next.
Yes, we're in the
week.
process of
Okay.
compiling everything.
Thank you. This is, next on our agenda is visitor statements. I'm going to ask if any visitors want to make a statement, not to discourage them, but I have to read something. Would you like to make a statement? Okay.